What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Turf Therapy. We're back in the garden, y'all. I know it's been a while. I'm sorry. I just had to get my spirits back up real quick, you know? This weather turning took a toll on me, and now we're back at it again. I hope you're doing well this morning, this evening, whenever you're catching this episode. Thank you for taking the time to check in with me to see what's going on in the garden. Now, lots of things have changed. For one, my dahlias, they're all gone. So we got a pretty hard cold snap. Nice little frost came in and wiped them all out. Like you can see right here, here are some remnants of them still hanging around. It's the red ones, and these was a small red one. I've already gone around and I marked out which color is which. So I'll be doing a video showing you how to properly store your dahlias here soon, so stay tuned. So to just give you a little bit of updates of what's going on, the spinach, man, this spinach, I mean, I'll be growing this spinach probably every year. I took this spinach all the way down to the brim out of curiosity just to see if she would come back, and she did. I took a nice majority of it a couple weeks ago for a neighbor, my neighbor across the street. He wanted some, so I hooked him up and he slapped that thing together. So the peas on this side, although I had this thinning thing happening, right? This thinning, browning out, up here I got plenty of green and plenty of fruit is producing. So these peas have been like giving me a run for my money, and the ones over in the other bed, well, I'm sick of it. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna adjust and just change plans. Quite often, at least one thing that you plan to do in the garden, it fails or it just doesn't work out the way that you initially planned it to. And I'm here to tell you it's okay, just adjust fire and move on. It's that simple. My cabbages are doing amazing, actually, and I've been taking the outside leaves and I've been cooking and eating them. I actually removed one of them and then kind of try to replant this one. I think I shocked it. She doesn't look like she's gonna do too much activity anymore. But up here in the box, my box, which I've yet to put the hoop house on yet, because I don't have to. Yeah, I got a little bit of insect damage, but overall, these leaves are looking good. And everything in here is thriving. Yep, it's thriving. Now I got some lettuce over here, some buttercrunch lettuce that I threw over here. These are doing great. This one is and then the one over there is And I still got some sage over here as well too. Then I'm waiting to take those off because I'll dehydrate them, I'll grind them up and turn them into a nice little rubbed sage seasoning that I have. Over here has been getting ate up. I'm telling you, I've been destroying this lettuce. I come out here, I do the cut and come again. So like this one, I took it all the way down and it's bouncing back just that quick. It's crazy, right? I also threw some garlic in here and look at that, they're all coming up. There's one little bulb right there. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. So I put some garlic in here and that's 1, 2, and then 3 has came up. I think that's 4 that's about to come up. And I think there's at least one more in there. This little planter box, a seller off Amazon sent it to me. The planter box is actually quite nice. It costs 30 bucks though. I'll put a link in the description below if you want it from like an aesthetic standpoint. When we're talking about sustainable gardening, I mean, it's a little pricey when we're growing out of $5 and $6 containers, right? So one thing that I'm super excited about is my Kohlrabi. Y'all see that? My bulb is starting to form, which lets me know I'm probably going to be in good shape, and I'll still have me some Kohlrabi come probably around December when I throw the hoop house on here when the temperature drops. So, you know, even though the packet told me I was a month behind when I did it, seems like it's going to buff out. Now that cold snap did get some things that I didn't get out here and get the chance to take down in time, and those things being my basil. My basil got hit by the cold snap, and as we know, basil's not a fan of that. I'm not worried about it. I'll clean it up and take it out later. Now, before we hop into what I'm going to end up doing with these peas that used to be, I mean, these peas, guys, these peas were double the height. So they got much taller than what they were supposed to get. And that's okay. But the problem is the way that the wind whips through this area, it destroyed them. And I didn't have enough space, and the support in here was whipping them around. So we're gonna take these peas out. But before we get to that, I wanna show you guys something. For those who don't think letting your plants go to seed isn't a benefit, look at this. Look at all these bees, y'all. Now, I don't know what kind of bees these are, but they love this choy that has gone to seed. And these are the seed pods right here. So what they're doing is each stem at the top, at the tip of each one of these, where the flowers are, the bees are going through, they're pollinating each one of these little flowers. Let's find one that no one's bothering. But you see this petal, the flowers are here, right? And then you see the stem that used to be, well, you see where the flower used to be, right? And then there's the stem. So after the bees come through and our pollinators come through and they pollinate, you're left with this. You're left with this right here, these pods. And as they mature, the seeds inside of them, they mature, and we get free seeds. Like I said, this is a variant of choy. This is like my mixed salad garden over here. These are all plants that Nadine from Farm Stories donated to me. She gave them to me. I got my Swiss chard over here, and everything seems to be very happy over here. When I initially set this up, it breathed well in my head. All of it made sense, right? I'd put these peas in here. I'd let them come up this trellis that I had in here, and I would still have room for these things down here to do their thing, which they have had their room to do their thing down here. But the problem is, because of the wind, this trellis not being high enough, it's actually more of a liability. As you can see, it's blooms all over it. And I know this might hurt some of you to watch, but I don't care because it's more of a nuisance than anything. This is my 4th time failing with peas, just because I don't have them in the right location. I have these winds. Now, if I left this alone, guys, I'm sure I could still get a good amount of fruit off of it. But the thing is, it looks messy. It's an eyesore. I'm not going to starve if I don't get these peas. This was an experiment. And because I'm not going to pull the roots out of this soil, I'm actually going to end up enriching this soil after I take all this stuff out, because when the roots break down, all that nitrogen that the peas love to have, they will release it in their roots back into the soil, which will benefit all the plants that I'll be leaving behind. Additionally, when I pull this out and clear this whole area out, guess what I'm gonna drop in here? Some garlic. Yeah, I'm gonna drop some more garlic right in here where I pull this stuff out. So let's get this done. Okay, so this looks a lot cleaner. Now, this whole area has been opened up. Like I said, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drop more garlic. Now, when you're planting your garlic, you'll take the entire bulb, and then you're going to want to break them up into their clothes right here. And then you want to plant them pointy side up, and then this side needs to be down, right? And as far as proper spacing of your garlic, what I like to do is I take the bulb, because this should be what we're looking for in the return. And I like to place them right there in the area that I'm going to be in. So it kind of gives me a good idea of what that size is. And I'm going to use this stick. I'll come behind with this stick, and I'm going to go ahead and drill in my holes. And that lets me know I should have enough space as far as placement. Now, you don't have to do it like this. There's other ways to skin this cat for sure, but I like doing this because it gives me a good idea of my spacing, you know? And I'll know how many bulbs I need. So, got me a hole right here, right? Push it down. You ain't gotta bury them super deep. Don't make this rocket science, guys. It's super easy. So let's rewind a bit and talk about these peas again. So the reason why we left the roots in here is because A lot of people, and even myself earlier this season, we put peas with things because they put off a lot of nitrogen. However, what I didn't know is that those peas use that nitrogen until they, what? Get harvested. Yeah, so all that nitrogen that you think that you're getting when you companion plant with things, you actually don't get that nitrogen right off the bat. It enriches that, it's a soil fixer, and it enriches the nitrogen in the soil once the roots break down. So all of the nitrogen that's available in these roots will now finally release, and it's going to be beneficial to everything that's in here. So just keep that in mind when you're companion planting and you want to plant like that for that very reason. All right. Another thing that I want to get after is this. Yes, y'all see it? The Yellow Heart Choy. Now, this is in the brassica family as well. And I did really good with this plant. So let's go ahead and take this one. Now we're gonna need to cut it. Boom. We got her. We got her, y'all. Look at that. Isn't that cool? The Yellow Heart Choy is in the brassica family, just like all the other choys, and we got us a pretty beautiful choy. Now in the center of it, it's called a Yellow Heart Choy because every time a frost comes, this happens. It goes yellow. So she looks nice and healthy. We'll get her cleaned up, and we're eating this for dinner tonight. Your boy did it. So the main reason why I chose to grow this plant is because of how cold hardy this is. I can leave this out here up until like, I think 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a hardy plant, cold hardy. If you're in an extreme tempered area and you deal with heavy frost, this may be a plant for you. I don't know what it tastes like yet, but I'm sure it's delicious. Another thing that I'm really interested in, which we should have a few of them in here ready to go, are these black Nebula Carrots. And we do. They're bulging out, showing me their shoulders pretty well. I want to see how they're doing, and I want to know what they taste like. So let's go ahead and get us a couple out. Skinny. Not that impressive. Now I did crowd these quite a bit, so that might have something to do with their development down here now. And I think like I'm getting pretty good length. They're just not fattening up. So I'm going to, and there's plenty of moisture down there, right? So I think it's a combination of me planting them a little too close together, right? And then that's the cool thing about carrots, is that they overwinter pretty well. We'll come back to them and see if they get bigger, since I'm in here essentially thinning them out. Here's a nice one. Let's see if we get a winner. Yeah, we're getting the same story. Same story. This one fooled me too. Fat top, right? Fat top, but the bulb is it's just not as fat as I would desire them to be. I planted them a little too close, right? And then I think another thing might be, I think I should have filled up this container quite a bit more, but no worries. Lessons learned. I got the spring. Over here are the red dragons. None of these are quite ready yet. We do have some shoulders sticking out, but you want to wait until your shoulders are sticking out at least an inch before you go pulling them up. So these aren't ready, but these tops look a lot healthier than those tops look. So we will be eating these black Nebula carrots, not not a terrible harvest. You know, definitely left something to be desired. I will be eating some potatoes tonight. So let's go ahead and get us some of this parsley. Yeah, there should be enough parsley for the potatoes that I'm fixing. And then I also want to snatch up some radishes. Now, I saw some new radishes that I haven't had yet that were ready. We gotta find them again. But I was in here digging around and I was like, oh, that radish is white. Oh, there it is, boom. You see it? It's like a purple white radish, boom, there they go. So let's get, how many of them are ready? I see, okay, I see one back here. Let's get you. Oh, look at the praying mantis. Look at them, out here hanging out. So, boom, mascot in the building. Pretty sure that's not turf, but it's all good. Surprise, those buddies are still kicking around. Let's go ahead and get you out here. You better be out here earning your pay. Getting to work out here, praying mantis. And these radishes, these are the purple radishes. I like them, they're really good. And what's cool about these radishes is that they have changed in their flavor profile because they've gotten hit by frost. I want to get one of these chassau fruit radishes as well. Let's get the biggest one, which is you. I told y'all these things were going to get bigger. I told you. Look at that. Boom. So although I struggled with that carrot, I got radishes the size of carrots. Y'all see that? You see that radish? Look how big it is. Cool. So that pretty much wraps up this episode, guys. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll see you again in about a week. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Turf Therapy, where we're healing lawns and souls. And I'll see you next time for your weekly dose of therapy with Rob.